The TWA Flight Center at JFK Airport was built in 1962 and designed by architect Eero Saarinen. It is in New York. As we relate back to topics learned in this course, we think about how elements and principles like emphasis are used in the interior with the bright red couch and the all white around it, creating that focal point in the space. Principles, organic shapes, so the element shapes and form coming into play with all of the use of organic forms. Balance on the exterior, there's a symmetrical balance on, if you do a look at the aerial view and look at the exterior itself, it's equal on both sides. Light and color, the large glass windows on almost every single side on all four sides of the space allow for plenty of light to come in, and the bright red couch again is that big play on color and is the big focal point there. We also have furnishes like the egg chair, the womb chair that was designed by Eero Saarinen himself. It fits so perfectly in that space. It has that same kind of style and feel to it. And even those windows, going back to technology, the large metal frames are a new way of building, new way of thinking, letting plenty of light into the space. The scale of this building is quite large, with this symmetrical balance on the exterior. There's the large windows that let in lots of light that really helps with the scale. We think of materials in the use of glass, concrete, stone, concrete, metal, in the more modern feel that it creates. Representation, it is believed that the flight center is, no, it was never said, but it's believed that it represents the idea of flight. Almost, if you look at the exterior, it having these wings and almost feeling like it's a bird or a plane, representing this abstract idea of flight is very important. And the experience throughout the space is very light and airy, and it embodies the use that it was for, which was for flight, for a hangout area, to wait for your flights, to catch your flights. It's all those ideas put together. When considering theories from this space, it's one that stands out is the idea of anthropometrics, which is the idea of understanding the human body, and I think it's important in any space, and especially in this space, because many people would inhabit this space and use it in different ways and see different sizes, different people, so it's got to be a universal space. That's important theory. The next theory I feel is important may not necessarily be a specific theory, but it's this idea of adaptation and change, that buildings are meant to grow and be repurposed for new reasons. And for example, the flight center was used as a flight center for many years, but now it's a hotel, and it's changed over time. It's adapted. People have adapted it. It grows. Buildings are meant to grow with time, not just completely start over every single time. The final theory that I will be discussing is the idea that buildings are built for a purpose and are meant for a certain function. And this flight center is a perfect example of that. It was built for flight. It was built around the idea of flight and built for transportation. And then even though it was transformed into something else, we still understand and notice the representation that was used and the different ideas that were used to create this idea of flight throughout the space.